Welcome to Dependable Flame, where we explore vintage petrol lighters, ashtrays, tobacconiana, and other useful mechanisms. Make yourself at home. Today we are tinkering around with some aluminum block petrol lighters that we have fiddled around with plenty of times before. Now, not all of these have had issues. Some of them just ran out of fuel, needed listing pictures taken for, that kind of thing. But others of them have been problem children from the very beginning. This Nordad lighter, which one of the fill screws is marked as such, Nordad patent applied for. I haven't been able to get this lighter to light for hardly anything. It did when I put a Dunhill blue flint in it just a little bit ago. Finally lit for me one time. But I have struck this little disc file wheel on this Nordad lighter way more times than I wish to recount, and especially when you consider that the lack of success has been profound. So I was a little bit interested when it lit up on like the third or fourth try earlier, but even though it's got that Dunhill blue flint in it, you can see that it is still not working anywhere near as reliably as we would need it to be to go ahead and take listing pictures and sell the lighter. So we'll go ahead and remove our Flint spring screw here. Along with the flint, if I can get that out of there. There's the spring. And the Dunhill blue flint. This is one of the old Dunhill blue flint. Found a couple of these straggling around here the other day, so I was checking them out, seeing how they worked in a couple of these aluminum block petrol lighters. And you can also see here the newer Dunhill blue flint. It's obvious that the one in the left hand is a much more bright finish than the one on the right. And I am still of the belief that these two products may be different. I do not have the confidence in that bright blue new one in my left hand that I've typically had in these Dunhill blue flints. Now, I have tried Dunhill blue flints in many lighters over the years just to improve the shower of sparks and increase the efficiency and the rate at which a lighter will reliably ignite. But I don't have Dunhill blues in any of these aluminum block lighters you see in front of you right now. They've all just got the generic red tinted flint that we use so often. They were sent to us a couple of years ago now by our buddy Robert Hollingsworth down in Texas. And they work really well for most lighters, and you can see they are working really well right at the moment for these last two that we've struck. This is an Automet lighter. Another really cool cylindrical petrol lighter, aluminum block. It's got the fluting throughout, except the top and the bottom. But that's a really nifty lighter. I really like these cylindrical shaped aluminum block Petrol lighters. This one looks like it may still be suffering from a little bit of vapor lock. Tried to take my time, leave the lid open on a couple of these so that they would dry out a little bit and we wouldn't have to deal with that. But all in all, they all seem to be lighting pretty well. We have a Sharpo lighter made by Josephson and Sharp. We've had many of these here on the channel over the years. Probably at least the 6th or so, I would guess. And we've got another one coming your way as well. Does show some scuffs, scratches, dings. You can see some damage to the finish. Sort of looks like little pin pricks. I don't know if that's a result of the machining. I'm not even sure. I can't see it through the viewfinder of the camera here near as well as I can just with my naked eye. So a few of them on the back as well. Yeah, pretty prevalent on the back just like it is on the front. But this is not a show and tell video for this lighter. As fond as I am of the Sharpo lighters, this particular unmarked lighter with 2 fuel screws has also been a bit of a dilemma for me. At times seems to work really well. I believe every time that I struck this lighter leading up to the making of this video, it struck and lit for me. So maybe this is one that we need to try the Dunhill Blue Flint in. Now, you saw it light there after, I don't know what, striking it 6 or 7 times. And of course, any of these lighters could still be suffering from some vapor lock. We did just fuel them up. Tried to take care not to overfill them, but you know how that goes. I think while we are here, we will go ahead and remove the flint spring and screw from this unmarked lighter. It's very similar to the gold tone lighter. The gold tone lighter has a full roller, but the shape of the lighters is very similar. Get our flint spring screw there, and flint spring. There's the red flint that we had in there. We will go back here with our Dunhill Blue Flint. Place that down the tube. Got our flint spring screw, or flint spring, and then followed by the screw. Screwdriver and get that tightened down. That is as tight as that will go, so we'll back it off just a bit. Got good spark, like you would expect with one of those old Dunhill Blue Flints, and yet doesn't look like it's doing any better at igniting it. Trying to work a right-handed lighter with my left hand, and let's just see if we can jump this. I'm sure that that is full of fuel. So it really doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially as well as this lighter was working before I started making this video. See the spark. You know that there's fuel in there because we just jumped it off the other lighter. And not making any difference at all. If anything, the Dunhill Blue Flint in this one is performing worse than the red Flint did. Bloom that wick out and then it catches immediately. And perhaps my proclivity to strike these with them leaning sideways could be doing me some damage, and maybe some of these lighters do not like to light that way. Maybe they're better off held with two hands. One to hold it steady and the other to work the wheel. It just doesn't seem to me that that's the way that a lighter was meant to be actuated. So we will do a little bit more experimenting. That's what this job is, basically, is just one big experiment with fuel, flint, and wicks. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes you're just spinning your wheels. So I don't know, that felt like that was at least 15 strikes or so there. And not a single ignition. See, good quality spark. And we all know that those Dunhill Blue Flints, especially the old ones, spark really well. But they're not doing us any favor today when it comes to lighting this one. And to think that I really thought that might make a difference. Until next time.